So Silvia, good morning.
Good morning, KVG.
Yeah, today I think we're going to talk about the trades, right?
Yes.
And as you mentioned, so the tab to remember is 2.1.
Yes.
First you go into 2,
Yes.
and then you go into the 1.
Yes.
And then there are different tabs there, just like the first one is the listing,
Yes.
right? And then if the property is listed by our office, Century 21 Apex, right? And if I am the listing agent, right? So so basically first you go into the listings, right?
Yes, and I click add to start a new file. When I click add,
Mm-hmm.
it gives a trade number and asks for the office.
Okay, and then you select the office, right?
Yes.
So whichever office is,
Yes.
and then from there on,
You click OK,
mm-hmm.
and then it will ask you, is this your office listing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
If yes, it's your office listing, then you click on yes,
Mm-hmm.
and it will take you to a screen that shows look up for listing.
Okay.
So whichever listing has been sold,
Mm-hmm.
you select that listing,
Mm-hmm.
you scroll down, look for it,
Mm-hmm.
and then that listing is added.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you add that listing,
Mm-hmm.
then we are transferred to this screen with all the information. This screen is the key info tab.
So basically, if you already have a listing in your system, so you go into the key info tab, and then there you go to add, right?
Yes. From listing,
Mm-hmm.
you click these binoculars for search,
Mm-hmm.
and once you do that, then you can look up for the listing,
Mm-hmm.
double click on the listing,
Mm-hmm.
and then click OK,
Mm-hmm.
and then that listing is selected as a sales deal.
Okay.
And then it tells our system that now this listing has been sold.
Mm-hmm.
So now that listing does not show up as available,
Mm-hmm.
but it shows as sold or closed deal.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, putting that information, we have to put legal
The legal
description.
end. So basically, we have to fill the legal end, right?
Yes, and
So
always have to be in
in
capital
capital
letters.
letters. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, we write the offer date, the firm date, that's the
and
subject
the
removal
and the
date,
completion date.
and the completion date.
Mm-hmm.
So these three dates are very crucial.
And then the selling price.
Then you put the selling price.
Okay, and then we the type of whether residential or commercial.
Yes.
And then we put whether there's a listing side or commercial or the buyer
Selling
side.
side.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of type of this
Yeah,
deal is?
but this one we're talking about the listing side.
Listing side.
Okay.
And then up right underneath the listing side, you write whether it has the MLS number. You put the MLS number.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no MLS number, then you just leave that blank.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
And then we keep something blank. You remember?
This tax roll number,
Mm-hmm.
we leave it blank. This comes in handy when the deal is closed.
Yeah, so
then we have to write.
What is this? We manage.
We manage. It says we manage. No, we don't manage.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
okay,
by
okay.
default, it's always no.
Yeah, okay, okay.
And this tax roll number, we leave it blank. We put this in when we close the deal. But right now, when we put the confirmation number of the deal here.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
So
Tax roll, okay.
but you won't get the confirmation unless the deal is
okay,
closed.
okay, okay.
So we leave it blank in the beginning.
So leave blank in the
Yes.
beginning.
And after filling that, we move to the people's tab.
Okay, so then we go to the people's tab, and then there you fill the seller's information, right?
Buyer's information and lawyer's information.
Mm-hmm.
How that is done is you click on add.
Mm-hmm.
To select the seller, you select type seller,
Mm-hmm.
and you put the phone number and the name. Those are the most important things. If you have any other relevant information,
if you don't have the address of the buyer, so you can change the
you can leave it blank.
Okay.
But you have to have the phone number and the first and the last name of the buyers.
If you don't have, in case so, then you put the realtor's buyer's realtor.
Yes, if you don't have the phone number for the client, buyer or seller, then you have to put the realtor's phone number.
Okay.
Now for the seller, you can put the address at as the property which is being sold.
Mm-hmm.
But for the buyer, if you don't have his property address, then you can just leave it blank, the address.
Okay. For the seller, what do you do?
For the seller,
Mm-hmm.
if you have the phone number and the name, you put the phone number and the name.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the property address for the seller,
Mm-hmm.
then you just put by default the property address that is being sold by that seller.
Okay.
But for the buyer, all you need is phone number and the first and last name.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about his address.
Mm-hmm.
Now once these two things are being filled,
Mm-hmm.
then you click add again, and then you go to the lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
In lawyers, there are two different ways of doing it.
Yeah, we also do the outside broker, right?
Outside brokers is the next tab.
Okay, okay, okay.
So for the lawyers, you put the phone number in,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have used the lawyer in your previous deals, his
Mm-hmm.
information will pop up, and you
Mm-hmm.
select that lawyer, and all his name and address will come up automatically, including the fax number.
Okay.
But if you don't remember the phone number of the lawyer,
So
then you have to click on the search binoculars, and then you have to go through whichever the list of all the contacts, and then you select whichever lawyer it is.
Other way you add if
If
you're not there.
if it's a brand new lawyer, you have never used it, then you put all the information manually, and then you click OK. But the most important thing is when you put the lawyers of the buyers and the sellers, you have to put the end. The end means which end the lawyer is representing. Is it the listing
or
end
the selling?
or the selling? It's very, very important. So for both of them, you have to fill that out. And after filling information and filling the end tab, you click OK, and then the people side is done. And the next tab is outside broker. It's
Okay.
exactly the same as lawyers.
If you have the info, fill it. Otherwise, you
Get
the
it from the
system.
binocular system, put the
Okay.
phone number in, and everything will pop up.
Okay.
Now sometimes what happens is when you click add, you have the office information. So you input the office information, but you don't have the
The
information of the
cell
realtor, particular realtor.
cell number.
So what you do is you select the office information, and you put the contact as a new contact in the list. And when you go back to your screen, your ad screen, then you put the agent's name where the agent name is written. And if you have this agent's cell phone number, please write the cell phone number. And then you click OK.
Okay.
Now in this outside broker, you don't have to fill the end type, whether it's a selling type outside broker or the
But don't fill the
end,
end.
because it's automatically done.
Okay.
Then you go
Go to trust account.
trust account. But let's do the trust
Get
account
accounts in the next
in the
segment.
next segment.
Yeah.